Okay. The outcome of DV abuse techniques is that the impact they have on clients is to make them appear damaged clients. So lawyers often view a client with a lot of baggage as a damaged client. They're not likable, they're easily impeachable, they're easily viewed as unreliable by the jury, and those are considerations when you're taking on a case. But here is where being trauma-informed is critical. Victims of DV are molded into so-called damaged clients by their abusers. The fact that they are showing those symptoms is proof of the abuse. The same traits that makes traditional clients unlikable or unreliable are the same traits that establish abuse. Those are paranoia, drug use, arrests, or even mental health issues. So this brings me to the emotional effects of domestic violence, right? So somatization, which means physical expressions of psychological pain, depression, sensitivity, paranoia, obsessive compulsive symptoms, and anxiety. These are all the emotional effects of DV on a victim. And then there's psychological effects, psychosomatic illnesses, eating disorders, insomnia. And insomnia is brutal when you're trying to prepare a victim or talk to a victim and your client is not sleeping and you want her to be prepared for a deposition or for trial or for a meeting with you. There can be devastating mental health problems like post-traumatic stress disorder, depression, and cognitive impairment. Cognitive impairment is critical to understanding why your client is behaving the way that she is, and it is critical to you being a competent attorney when you're representing her. So let's look at what this translates to, right? If you have a client that is a DV victim, how is she a difficult client? She may be hard to get a hold of. She may be high maintenance. What does that mean? She may send you angry, hysterical emails in the middle of the night or in the morning or on the weekend. She may leave you frantic text messages or voicemails, even though nothing has really happened as far as you're concerned. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later. She can be erratic and disorganized. You can ask her to do one thing and it will take her 15 times of reminding her, and then she may still not do it the way you asked her to do it. She will be inconsistent or with memory lapses. And that's actually a really hard one for lawyers because we tend to not trust, or at the very least find problematic, clients who have memory lapses. But the fact is that's part of the pathology. That is part of being a DV victim. They may remember something one way once and then remember it slightly different the other time. They may even tell you one story once and then it may change and they know that they're changing it, but it's to protect themselves. They're trying to protect themselves either psychologically or physically, or they may be engaging in patterns of repetition that they've done in the past to protect themselves and to hide the abuse, and they haven't quite switched. It's very hard for a victim client to come in and all of a sudden you're their best friend and they can tell you everything. That's just not how it works. They can be seen as unreliable. They'll say something one time and then it changes a little bit the next time you talk about it. And then they can be unsure of themselves, sometimes frustratingly so. Well, did he do this? Well, I don't really remember. That is actually entirely part of DV symptomology. Memory gets affected. In a victim of DV, these are the results of the abuse itself.